So my first question just is regarding the resources that we have. Clearly, there aren't enough going in. But do any of you have any kind of estimate as to how much additional financial resource you would require on an annual basis?
Hunters and hunters. It's a flippant response, but it's one that's it is there. I think we have to look at what the figures that colleagues have presented here today and within our submissions and recognise some of that. So if you have rising levels of need, you've got 37% increase in the school population with additional support needs, and that's 2.8% just up from last year. So that's one area. So there's a figure that says we need 37% more for additional support needs to start off with. You then have that the enhanced specialist provision is 23% down since 2016. So there's 23% more needs to go into additional support, specialist provision around that area, but you need to do the complicated maths that takes 23%, whatever it is, over that period of time. So it's going to be much, much higher than 23%. You have a decline of specialist teachers since 2010 within mainstream settings of 19%. And so there's another figure that tells us how much more we need to put into it. If these are all declines, we need to at least add on to get back to where we were to start with, and then multiply that up from the increased range of provisions and the increased number of our young people who are now being identified as having additional support needs. And we need to then look and consider how we can address the wide range of provisions within that. So you can have within a primary class of 20 where you have 4 young people who are on the autistic spectrum. You have another 4, and this is a real class, 4 young people who have a dyslexia diagnosis or dyslexia symptoms that are being supported within the class. You have another 3 who have English as an additional language within that class. And then you also have a young person who has global delay because of medical issues at birth. And that's within one class of 20. Now, if you multiply that up across the country, an individual teacher can address all of that in one go without really heavy support being put into it. So I think in terms of how much more, it's about looking at where the reductions have taken place over the last 10 years and getting back to the points where we were at, and then saying, and we need this much more because it's now 37% higher than it was 10 years ago.